everybody, it's Cody, Dixon RC here. So today, week 3 of the budget build competition, using the Element Sendero SE. This week's going to be a little easy week. I know last week was an easy week, but last week was really easy. This week's not going to be easy, but it's going to be simple as far as what we're doing. We're not doing anything massive. We're doing some cosmetic things. Basically stuff to get you ready for the comp with this body kind of deal. So as you know, the last comp that I went and ran, I broke the driver's side slider. It just snapped right off of it when it fell off. It tumbled off of, I don't even remember what I tumbled. I don't even know when it broke, to be honest. But although I seen it when I got done, it was just hanging down. So I was like, well, I got to do something about that. That's not no way to go. Plus these plastic ones are cool. They do hold the body, but they don't hold it well enough, and it shakes and you can hear it rattling around. So no good there. So we're going to put on the GRC metal sliders. Now these are for the TRX4. Specifically, that's what they're made for. Like, they fit on there with no modifications at all. These will fit other models as well if you have a little bit of ingenuity on how you want to mount them. You can use spacers, you can bend them a little bit, things like that. So I'll show you how I made them work on this one. And the other thing we're going to do with this body, since I'm going to keep this body for just a little bit longer and not change up to something else just yet, we got a couple more episodes before that happens, but I wanted a way to where when this thing rolls over on its side and you just happen to cannot kick it back over with using just the tires, which it does pretty good at that. The tires are almost at the edge of the flare, so it kind of works like that if you kind of wiggle it a little bit. But if you get stuck in that point to where you cannot do that, I want a way to roll it over. So what I'm going to do is install some D-rings pieces into the bed, just up here in the corner, you know, the front corner. Because the reason why is what I put in my winch line whenever we put a winch on this thing. So when I take and use a chain link, a bike chain link, and just a metal hook, I think this hook come from Scalar Fabs. I don't know who it come from anyway. Drilled it out, made it fit. So it sits in between the winch line that comes out of the fair lead and the hook, whatever it is you have at the end, which I'll have some kind of sand shovel or something like that. It'll go in between it. So what'll happen is when you get stuck into a spot where you need to flip over, you just hook this hook into the D-link and then set your, you know, sand shovel or whatever over into the whatever you got, put your foot on or whatever. It will flip the truck back over on its side, on its wheels and tires, which is what we want. So like I say, these are kind of simple deals, but they're not really that simple. I have already installed these side plates on the truck, but I'm going to show you how to do it on this particular truck. I do keep these sliders in stock. They're good to have as well. I keep D-links in stock in all types of forms, whether it be these ones I'm using here, and I got them in black or red. I have them without the plates. I have all kinds of them. So hang tight. We're going to come around. I'm going to show you how to do I'm going to take one slider off and then show you what I did to make it work. And then I'll show you how to put it back together. And then I've already done one side of these D-links, but I'll show you how to do the other side. It's fairly simple. If you got simple little tools, it shouldn't be that bad. And then we're going to do some bumper stuff, probably tuck them in a little bit more. I may actually cut one of these bumpers up a little bit. I don't know. I want to keep these on there for a little bit. I may wind up going metal before too long, but not really, because my plans down the road doesn't involve this at all. So I don't really know if I want to keep that at all. So hang tight, we'll come around, I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, so first thing you need to do is have your GRC sliders. You always want to make sure with this one, for sure, you do 3 holes in on the lower spot of these 2 holes here. Just that brings it up a little bit. You're going to have some 3mm nuts, a 3mm screw that's going to be about 20 mil long, and then 14 mil as well. 2 of each of those. You want a 4 mil length spacer, and then a 9 mil length spacer. And then what you're probably going to really want to do, so you figure out where you want it to sit here. I've got a little spot marked on mine. Put in this one side here, then figure out how much you need to bend this side. Now see how this one's straight and this one's kind of got a little bit of a cock this way. That's because this doesn't work. You can move this in one and it still doesn't matter. It goes too far this way, so that doesn't really work. So you just do that. Now you use the 4 mil spacers on the top ones here because the nub's already there. But you want to, the reason why we're doing raising it up like that is because you want it to fit in the body better. And the way I've got it set up with this is it's super tight into the body. Holds it, and it goes past the cab where the cab and the bed meet, that little spot there. This actually goes a little bit past it, which is great. That's what you want. And then you take the 9mm ones and set them here, but you don't do that yet. The first thing you do is bolt these two down, figure out where that's going to go, and then measure this out and get a 3mm drill bit and drill out the hole. Now you want to try and get it as close as you can to the center because of where that actually is in turn of where the hole will be. You can fit a nut through here and the nut will just stay under this little spot right here. That's what you want. You don't want it to be just over here so you've got stuff just sticking down, you know, in the way. If they're in there, you're good that as far as space goes. So let's do this one here. I set my 4mm there and there. Don't mind that one's different because I just didn't have enough, I don't think, or something. I don't know. Who knows? Just get it kind of close. It ain't got to be perfect. Not yet, anyway. Actually, I think the best way to do this is to just go ahead and start these here where you want them. And then push this in all the way. It will only go so far because the screws on the back will touch the slider that's already there. So that doesn't really, that's as far as you can push it in. So just do that. So now's where you'll take it and you can see the hole there. Of course, mine's already drilled, but I just took a drill bit and just stuck it in there and just drilled down. And that worked well enough for me because this stays where it's at. So you're not really gonna have to worry about that too much, but just do that. Now comes the tough part, because if you're gonna install this like this, then you've got to figure out how to get the other little spacer inside this spot here, which isn't too bad. So I would suggest maybe loosening these just a hair so they'll move a little bit up and down, kind of. They're gonna move in and out, which is also a bad thing, but if you can get it in there enough to where your finger can at least get it close enough. Yeah, like that there. Boom. Goes all the way through. Now this one's tough because you don't really have room like you do on this side here. I take a set of little tweezers. Lift up. Well, that didn't work. Lift up. And then boom. There you go. All right, those are all the way down. Now, the tough part here is on the other side where the nut needs to go on the little lip piece there. Now, the problem is, I'm gonna try and do this where you can see. I don't know if that's gonna be workable or not. I take some small little curved needle nose pliers, just so I can try and fit this in here to the where I need to be. The problem is that the needle nose pliers are a little bit too big to fit in that spot. So take that, stick it in there. At least if you can kind of get it started, you're good to go. Yeah, that one's started, so we're good there. It's tight, good to go. Now I'm going to show you with the body on it. Like I said, this does make it super tight as far as how it fits. You do still have to kind of line it up because they just don't fit directly in it like they should. So there they are. Now see what I was saying, it goes all the way past where the cab is, and that's good. That's what you want because it keeps a lot of movement down. But they are super tight. They're up about as high as they can go. If they go any higher than that, you're not going to be able to put the body pins in. But right now it's super, super tight. Like, I mean, you can tell they're on there. And I like it because it's super low profile. I mean, you can't even really tell they're there. I do love the fact they're there though. They do help a lot, especially considering what was there before, which were these big old jokers sticking out the side. I mean, come on, man. You can tell. Let's see if I can figure out where that would be the difference there. And it only did about that much. It didn't even do the whole It goes all the way back to the bed. So that's good there. So here's what I was talking about. A D hook ring, whatever you want to call it, is right here on this side here. We're going to put one over here on this side. Now the way to do this, you could do this a multitude of different ways. What I'm going to do is you set where you want this to be and then get your body reamers out. Which the problem with this is it's really tough because this thing will move on you. You just kind of want to get it to where you think you want it to be. What I did was found the two outer ridges here in this bed and used that as a spot to put the nut through with or a bolt through with a nut on the end. So I just take this, try and hold it the best I can, get it where you kind of want it, and just stab a hole using the reamers, and then take it off, finish up the hole so you can put a bolt through it, because you want to put a bolt through it to at least hold it in place. Now this thing comes with its own nuts and bolts in the kit. Now I'm not going to use those. I'm going to drill these out to a 3mm because that's what I want to use. So hang on, I'll be right back. All right, so all I did was just drill the holes out to a 3mm, which is what I wanted to have. So you want to go get some small 3mm bolts, possibly some shallow nuts. That's what I use the most, is some shallow ones, mainly because they don't take up a lot of space on the other end. They're also hard to find too, so maybe you don't have any. The regular ones will work. All right, so now you'll take the bolt, put it through the hole, and leave it there. And kind of line up where you kind of want it to be, like you did before. It's a good way to do it. Go across the way, so at least so you can line it up and make it be straight. Alright, and then do that. From there. Cool. That'll work there. Throw that in there for the moment so it lines it up. Stab the other two. So you can get it close. There we go. Pull that out. Do the other two. Oof. Watch this side here. It is these corners here are very, 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 very thin. You'll cut through there in a heartbeat with this reamer, like I did there, and I did it on the other side as well. Tried to watch myself this time. It didn't matter. Just did it. All right, so take your bolt here, however you want to do it. That's not going to work that way. The hole on this one end is way too big. Just screwed that all up. Don't matter, it'll still work, so that's no big deal. It's going to be super tight there. So now you'll take it, you'll flip it over, figure out where you're do it this way here, because that's the only way I can do it. See what I'm doing. All right, so after you tighten your 4 nuts here, now you take your D-link itself. You'll see one side's threaded, one side is not. You'll take your little thing that it comes with, try and line it up, stick it through, and start tightening it. Now this is the hard part because this is tight in here. There's not a lot of room to start doing this. It's a good way to do it too, is to take the D-link and move it, and just hold this and move the D-link, because that will tighten it up as well. All right, when it gets to a certain point, so you'll take a 1.5mm driver or whatever, hold it, and then just press that down. doing that wrong. Hold it and move this up. Yeah, like that. Try to get that as tight as you can get it. And you don't want it super, super tight, but you do want it kind of tight. That's still going to move regardless of how tight you tighten that. This will still move. Unless it bends it and really ruins it kind of deal. Alright, so that's it for that. Simple deal there. The next thing we're going to do is move this rear bumper in. So right now as it sits, this thing sticks way out past the body. So all we're going to do is flip it over, take the two bolts out and move it in one hole. Nothing crazy. I mean, that's all it should need really. That actually may be too much, but we're going to make it work. The back bumper does get stuck on a lot of stuff. I do kind of wish it was a little bit smaller. I think they did okay on the front. It's fine. But so you'll line it up and you can kind of see inside there. You can see the light through there. Just push it in until you see the next hole. Like that there. You see through it. And then stick the bolt back through. Tighten it down. Basically what that will do is when you put the body on now, it brings the bumper way into the body. I'm talking about like way into the body. That's good. That's what we want. That's how you want that to be. So good. All right. So this week was fairly simple. Simple little cosmetic things to make your life easier when you're comping kind of deal. So we rolled over last week with $87.20. So this week we had $162.20 when we add the $75 in. The sliders are $18. The Integy, they call them bow shackles, but the D shackles, that kind of deal, D hooks, whatnot. Shackles is the better way to say it. The shackles are $7.99. So if you subtract that out of 162, you got 136.21 left over to go over to next week. Next week's going to be a big week, so that's what we want to do. Trying the idea here. I know I probably could have done this at $50 a week, but some of the stuff that we're fixing to get into is kind of expensive, but not on like the crazy pointy end expensive of certain things, depending on how you look at it. So I kind of wanted to just kind of bulk up a little bit of money and then we'll spend it the next couple weeks kind of deal. I did have to change up a couple things this week, but you know, no big deal. But that's it for this video. So stay tuned for next week on the installment of week 4 of the budget build on the comp edition with the Sendero SE. I do like this truck. I kind of want to keep this body as long as I can. Like I said, I think it does look cool. And I think for you guys not having to get into a crazy body build with chassis rails and things like that, I mean, that's okay at the end, but to begin with, that's not really the way to go for most people. Most people don't want to do that. They don't want to have to fab stuff. They don't want to have to do all those things that you got to do to fit one of those rails on this kind of body kind of deal. So that's it. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.